It's all good.
Third time's a
Okay.
charm, right?
It sounds like we're a little bit better now. Okay. All right. Yeah, these things happen. So again, welcome folks. This is Margin Time. Um, puzzle game interview show where we sort of talk to people who make puzzle games or are involved in them in some sort of way, maybe did a world record or they're just really crazy. They're just really crazy about Kudu and Pa and want to talk to somebody about it. And that's what we'll be here for. Today, again, I've introduced them like 2 or 3 times already. We're gonna do it one more time. We have the wonderful, the great, the always well bathed and in good comedic form, Kirk Gamer.
Oh
Everybody
my
give.
god, you're too kind. Yeah, so it's me, Kirk Gamer. Kirk, you can call me whatever you need to, but yes, it's me. Hello.
So Kirk, sort of, I guess, let's just sort of get started. First question, sort of, what is your artistic or educational background? Like, do you have a degree? Were you involved in any other types of aspects of game making, like pixel art or something like that? What was your skill set before making combo postage?
Well, I always like making stuff ever since I was a kid, like drawing and all that sort of thing. I started making games when I was a teenager, mostly for the Ludum Dare Game Jam, which I owe a lot to. It's a really wonderful event. But then from there, over the years, I eventually went to college to get a game design degree in 2016, graduated in 2020. And but generally, I do all sorts of things. I do pixel art, music, and just kind of been doing it since I was a teenager.
Okay. All right, that's really interesting. And I guess you said you've been doing Ludum Dare, right?
Yes,
And if I have the Kirk itch page up right now, right?
it's
And
true.
I'm looking at your Ludum Dare page. You have a lot of stuff. You have Kirk's food delivery game, a game about trying to gain more time in is that an aquarium?
In a
It cuts
time
off
cave.
in a time cave. Base rack Canball, Worm Excavation League, Battery Panic, Currency. Okay, that's funny. That's a good one. Turn-based invaders from space. Like look, you have a lot of stuff in Ludum Dare, and
I do, and a lot of really interesting titles that are very easy to say.
and um, and like Combo Postage was a Ludum Dare game first, right?
Yes, so Combo Postage began as a Ludum Dare entry way back in 2017. It was made in 48 hours. The theme was the more you have, the worse it gets, and it's pretty similar to what Combo Postage became. I tried to make it very similar to the original, just carrying forward the gameplay and everything. But yeah, it started out as just a 48-hour game jam entry. Been around a year and a half, I think that's right. Polishing it up and turning it into Combo Postage.
Yeah. Okay. And also, I forgot to mention, what does on production is wonderful. Best spouse in Florida, Juicy.
Well,
Uh,
thank you.
it's probably going to be more so in the background, but he may ask some questions here and there. If you hear another voice, then you think, "Oh wow, who's this? Who's this Florida guy just talking in on the interview?" That's who it's going to be.
Yeah, it's either him or me doing ventriloquy. You'll have to see which one.
Yeah, throwing my voice like 100 miles south to the Panhandle. But okay, so like I guess as far as the Ludum Dare thing goes, how was combo? What was it about combo posters that wanted you to make it into something bigger? Like of all the other wacky and interesting stuff you have here, what was it about combo posters that I gotta develop this further?
A great question. So, I have made a lot of games for Ludum Dare. A lot of them I find like once I finish them, it's like this is good. Maybe I'll come back to this world someday or these characters. But generally, this game here, maybe you could use a few little tune-ups, but it's pretty good. With Card Horde, which is that's the original name for Combo Postage. That
Hmm.
was the Ludum Dare version. Um, it was it was a game that was really good. I really liked it, but there were a lot of things that I think needed tweaking, and a lot of people enjoyed it. It got pretty high ranks in the competition. So that was kind of my motivation to polish it up because I could see like an amazing game in the prototype that just wasn't quite there. I mean that version is still pretty good. You can still play it. It's still public. But I think that Combo Postage really kind of takes it to the next level.
All right. That's good to know. And like, what was your inspiration to do combo posters? Like, I know it was like a Ludum Dare thing, right? But
Yeah, there's the theme, of course.
yeah, and you had the theme. The more you have, the worse it gets. But like, what was I guess what inspired you to do combo postage? Like any other games, any other developers, family members, or something, friends, etc.
So the
Like,
first idea I had was just, with the theme, a bunch of packages piling into a warehouse just kind of came into my mind. At first, they're actually going to be monsters shaped like packages, although it changed pretty quickly from my first sketch.
hmm
Um, but I was inspired. This is a bit of a weird inspiration. When I was younger, we used to flatten cardboard for recycling, and I didn't want to just break it down with my hands, so I'd just jump on them and stomp them and flatten it
hmm
that way.
hmm
It was that. It was also just memories of like doing charity functions and helping people move, like piling boxes into a car. That sort of like frantic energy of just getting a bunch of stuff stuck in a place.
Okay.
All that. Plus, like just like I had a lot of Tetris DS. I really enjoyed that game, so a lot of that kind of DNA went in there.
Okay.
Downwell, the other one.
All right, we're gonna have the counter up. Another game inspired by Touch DS. Put it up on the scoreboard.
Yeah,
Um,
it's a great one.
okay, so that kind of leads me to my next question. Like, were you sort of a big puzzle game fan before doing combo postage?
Yeah, so really just like kind of casually, Dr. Mario, Tetris DS. I really like the DSiWare game Pictobits, a bit of a deep cut there.
That,
But
that
I
is
wouldn't consider myself like a huge puzzle game person. Like not like specifically a genre fan. It was just something where there's a few puzzle games I really liked, but it wasn't like a genre thing.
okay. Then, so you didn't like? I guess you maybe were not. Were you like aware of like a Puyo Puyo and stuff like that when you made combo postage?
Barely. I should
Barely.
note I was aware of Wario's Woods and Super Puzzle Platformer, which are two games that are pretty similar to Combo Postage, like broadly. I had
hmm
not played them before, but I was just kind of aware of them as like being games where there's a character in a play field and stuff is going on.
Okay, then, and do you feel that maybe that action aspect was sort of a way to, I guess, Trojan horse puzzle games into some people who probably otherwise may not have touched the genre?
So not really. If anything, it kind of did that for me. It kind of Trojan horsed me into becoming more of a puzzle game person and making something that was more of a puzzle game. The original version of Combo Postage is, I think, much more heavy on the action side than the puzzle side.
Mhm.
But in kind of developing it further and adding more strategic depth, making it less of a random number generation thing and more of being able to consistently do it anytime, no matter what deck you're dealt. I looked more into like bag randomization, that sort of thing, other puzzle game mechanics, and that
Oh,
kind of informed it more.
okay, then so you probably ran across the very many scribbles of CT describing Tetris Tetris RNG,
It's
which
possible, and I didn't even realize it because at the
like
time I wasn't involved with Puzzle Wednesday at all. So
yeah, okay. So this was like a lot of this of your development of combo posters was really way before like your involvement in the your induction into the Puzzle Wednesday canon. Like this was like way before
yeah,
because like yeah, because Puzzle
the
Wednesday
release. It was
yeah
before the release of like I only got into Puzzle Wednesday post the release of Combo Postage as I was working on the update, the big V2 winter update
yeah.
released last year.
Oh man, okay, yeah. All right then. Okay, this is good to know. So I guess aside from the Ludum Dare stuff,
Mhm.
what kind of was your main goal with combo posters? Like, were you trying to what sort of maybe skills are you trying to develop as a game dev, and maybe was there anything you were trying to bring it to have a game do that maybe you had not seen other games do before?
Great question. So I had there of course was the Ludum Dare aspect of wanting it to kind of live up to the original, bringing forth things, paying homage to the original. But beyond that, this was like my first quote unquote big release. Like I love all my games, even the smaller ones, but this was like kind of like I'm putting it on Steam. I'm really making this a big game. I mean, Combo Postage is a small game, but for me, it was pretty big. I'd never made anything that in depth before,
Yeah.
so that was definitely a major part of it, like making kind of my first big game.
Okay. And how was that? I guess how was that release experience? You know, because sometimes because you have it on multiple places. You have it on Edge, you have it on Steam. I
Yep.
think those are probably the most two, but those are two very different platforms that have very different rules for like if you're publishing something, right? So like, what was the experience like between those two and maybe any others if you had put it anywhere else that I'm not aware of?
Yeah, so it was just on those two. I did attempt some mobile stuff, but that ended up being just because of some engine stuff. I used Construct 2, which is a pretty good engine, I think, but it does have some limitations when it comes to the exports. So getting it ready for Steam, especially with the update, that was quite difficult. there were a lot of challenges getting the Steam integration to work properly with the engine specifically. Um,
Uh, okay.
Having the overlay, you might take that for granted in a game, but it does, depending on the engine, take some work to get that to work seamlessly.
Yeah, that's the thing that doesn't always work out on a lot of games that I notice just as a player. Like I don't like I've never done the Steam coding thing, but it does seem like because it works almost like it's just part of the game, but it's
Mhm.
like it's something a little extra because if you just run the game by itself, wouldn't have the. Anyway, I'm sure it's a whole deal.
Yeah, it's a whole deal. And it also
As,
depends on the engine, that sort of thing.
as an interviewer, I should probably be asking more about that, but that we're here to talk about combo postage, not the
Of course.
Steam integration into whatever you know that whole deal works into. Okay, so like this is like I guess this is sort of like for people that know this is sort of like maybe the first part. So we're kind of going to talk about more serious stuff in about a couple minutes. After one or two more questions, we're going to probably switch to like our second part where we have Juicy play some combo posters and we'll ask questions and try not to make fun of him as much for catching up, right?
Thanks.
But a couple, two more questions I kind of want to ask. I guess this one more so maybe about the coding aspect of it. You've already mentioned before you have a like a computer science degree. It was right, or is it
Actually,
game
it's a
design?
game design degree.
Game design. Okay, my apologies. Yeah.
That's all good.
Okay, so like you have a game design degree, so you've probably like you're very familiar with the with you've probably jumped around between a lot of different coding engines or coding languages. I guess in your journey, what sort of made you like? Do you stick with Construct 2 for like a lot of stuff? Is that like maybe your main go-to, or do you maybe if you were to do it in a different type of project, would you use a different type of engine or language, or whatsoever have you?
Yeah, so great question. I have kind of become dependent on Construct 2, you could say. I'm not the best programmer. I mean, Construct 2, you do code with it, but it has a visual code editor, and it kind of has a proprietary kind of code block system, which is pretty powerful, but it's not the most, you can't really transfer that to other languages, one to one. It's going to be a lot of, okay, I did this in Construct 2. Now I have to do this here with typing out a bunch of things in the syntax, and it's not going to be quite right, quite the same. Construct 2 is very forgiving with things. You can kind of have objects not exist when they should, and it's not going to throw any errors. It's just going to keep going. So
Okay.
it's kind of a thing where I've become so used to Construct 2, it's actually going to be a bit of an effort to pivot. And I would like to explore some other engines, but, Construct 2 is currently what I'm using.
All right, then, and like you, this time I probably should have mentioned it before, but you kind of more so develop a lot of the assets for the game yourself, right? Like you're the coder, the pixel artist.
Yeah, I typically work completely solo. Of course,
What about
I
music?
have music. I make my own music. I usually use
Hey,
Little Sound DJ for the Game Boy. Great piece of software.
Hello.
But I
Sorry.
do really quick when I just clarify. While I am a solo developer, there's a lot to be said for people who do volunteer testing, whether it's friends, family, and all the people who provide free resources online. So
Uh-huh.
just shout out to everybody who helped in development.
Okay.
I did create most of the assets, but that's an important part that often gets
All right,
overlooked.
then. Kirk setting a very good example for the rest of our guests. Instead of taking a route of saying it was all me, and only me, I'm the only one. Gave you a little bit of shout out to all the little people who helped make the bigger project come together. All right, so this is kind of the last question, and after this question is answered, or maybe anything else, we're gonna go to the second phase where we sort of like watch some gameplay and maybe chat over that. Okay, so this is a big question. Be ready for it. If you had all the resources in the world, all the money, all the employees, all the knowledge of game coding, design, art, music, whatever, could break any rules of game design, programming, physics, existentialism, what have you.
Sure.
What kind of game would you like really, really, really want to make?
So maybe this is a bit of a cop-out answer, but I already kind of have a game that I would like to make like that. It's I've been planning it since 2015. It's sort of just planned to be kind of like either my final game or like my final real big one. It's just something really huge, like hundreds of hours, that sort of thing. But making that sort of thing would probably take me a decade or two. So I'd probably just make that instantly if I could.
Okay, and it sounds like you're being intentionally vague because it's still like in a lot of planning phases that maybe you don't want to
Yeah, just a big cool game. It's like an adventure. A lot of interesting things going on.
Okay, then. So you're making Final Fantasy 17. I get it.
Yeah,
All
absolutely. Yeah, definitely
right.
that one. I will say, I think a lot of developers probably have one of those just in their back pocket. Like this is going to be the one someday.
This is gonna be the one. I mean, I think what's his name? I think Kojima's has said that for like years. And
Mm.
he's still doing like Death Stranding 2 or whatever. I don't know. I
Well,
don't
I
keep
wish
up
him
with
luck with that. I'm
stuff.
sure he doesn't need it from me, but I'm be very interested to see what that turns out to be.
But okay, well, thanks for answering what counts for our serious interview section.
Of course.
Much appreciated. Let's kill some time chatting back and forth till Juicy fires up the web port of Combo Postage or whatever
Absolutely.
version of Combo
Whatever
Postage.
version. I should note that the web version of Combo Postage Express, is now available to play for free online. Wow.
Okay, that's good to know. All right, then. So here we go. Um, I can't see it on Twitch. I assume it's coming in good for people on Twitch, but
Yeah,
I had Twitch open too long, so now it showed me an ad about Adobe.
of course. Well, this is a very special stretched version of Combo Postage. I developed this with slightly larger pixels horizontally.
Okay, then. So all right. So like, people can see it's like a nice little character action bit here. All right. So like, I could probably explain it, but like, you're the developer. You're the birthday boy today. I don't need to tell
Happy
the
birthday to me.
happy birthday. Another puzzle was happy birthday. So why don't you just tell us how the game works in general?
All right, so you play as Sue, who is working a weird summer job at an underground warehouse. She has a really cool high-tech tape gun, which can apply tape to boxes automatically. You just walk into them or stomp on them, and a piece of tape is applied. If you then stomp on a taped box, you clear it out.
Okay,
And,
man, that was a good run.
good
We're
warm
gonna
up. Good warm up.
we're gonna be supportive here.
Yeah. I will say this game is very difficult, and the controls are a little bit different than some other games you might have played. So it may take some time to get used to it.
Yeah. So like again, this is sort of still does carry that theme from the Ludum Dare. Like the more you have, the more. I forgot the theme
Oh, good.
was.
Yeah,
But,
basically, it's a risk reward thing of the
Yeah.
more you're going to have in a column,
Oh,
the more points you can get, but also it's going to apply stress to your
yes,
board.
it's gonna add stress and stuff, right? So like it is kind of like dealing with like, okay, do I agree to get the most points or do I keep things safe, right? And I noticed like it sort of does keep a good balance of which columns to put boxes in, but I don't know if it's like in order or if it's like a sort of random thing. Could you explain sort of
So-
how it chooses? Yeah.
Absolutely, it's pseudo-random, so it's like a mix. I believe will never place a package or object, anything that's going to fall in the same column back to back. So that's one major thing. It'll also never put a box into a column that you're actively stopping in. So there is, and it also won't, put more than 5 boxes in a column because eventually a penalty cube's going to come and knock it down.
Okay.
Beyond that, in standard mode, it is random.
All right. So, yeah, you did almost see that penalty of like, okay, oh gosh, I thought he was gonna bite. Yeah, I thought he was gonna bite the dust there. He got away from it. Never punished.
Lots of 2,500 combos, which is what you want. The points in a combo are cumulative, so you actually get way more than 2,500 points in one maximum combo.
Okay,
You
yeah,
get,
so-
a ton more.
So you get like each step of combo that. Oh gosh, this is stressful to watch.
Some very nice footwork. Oh,
Yeah. Oh man, he's doing so great. So like when you said pseudo random, I want to sort of ask a bit more about that because I actually
Sure.
saw like a post about pseudo randomness in regards to like I think it's like Super Mario Brothers 2 where they found out that one of the ROMs of a cartridge that has different graphics works a little differently because it also does pseudo randomness, but it's like the pseudo randomness is based on the player inputs.
so that's a
sort of-
different. I just kind of pulled pseudo-random out of the air there. That may be like a specific term I was misusing.
No, it's not. So it's not fully random, but it is. You kind of
Well,
gave it some rules.
it's random with conditions, I would say. For combo.
Okay, then yeah. Yeah,
As for
which-
how the RNG system works, like on the back end, that's a Construct 2 thing. I just use a pre-built RNG kind of thing.
Okay, then so that's good. We don't always have to know. I mean, hey, you
Of
think
course.
You think Moon Itani knows every single Puyo how that's gonna shake out every single time? No, he
Yes.
just sort of He's Mr. Puyo. He knows that he knows all the Puyos by name and by RNG. Okay, so this, I just now noticed that the walk up animation is not like a run up like Wario's Woods, but it's more like Sue is using a tape gun to climb up.
Nice eye, yeah. The tape
that's
gun
a
has
nice-
motor scaling wheels.
Okay. Alright then, so I guess let's talk about this. Let's talk about some of these hazards, right?
Let's
Not
talk
just
about the laser cubes.
yeah, the laser cubes. All right, what went into the laser cubes?
So
What-
those came
Okay.
from the original Game Jam version. They're basically the
Ooh.
same.
Oh wait, that
Um,
was man. That's
But the laser boxes, so they're basically just like in the original. The lightning bolt on the side fills up, and then once it reaches the top, it fires a bolt from the left and right, and it's like an instantaneous thing. It's not a projectile; it just instantaneously scans across the screen. And if you're there, you know,
okay. So that's what it
Chip
does. It's
over.
not like it's not like action. Okay, that's really clever. That's
Oh,
like
there's
damn.
actually that's actually kind of a theme in combo postage. This is not to say that this is like a better way of doing it than something like projectile based. Like Super Puzzle Platformer, a lot of projectiles in that game. Everything in combo postage is pretty instant. Like boxes, they don't really like tick down when they fall. They just appear, and there's a trail behind it to suggest that yes, they've fallen. Same with the lasers, a lot of stuff like that.
okay. So it's kind of like how Guilty Gear XR when it does the anime swipes. It's kind of like it's more of a full animation than the actual or like that's actually like a 3D model of the anime swipes and not like them animating the anime swipes as they happen.
Yeah, absolutely. So like the nice little gradient you get whenever a box falls on top of it, that's just a graphic that appears to suggest that it's fallen. Because I mean it is in the game universe it is fallen, but
Yeah, but as a game thing, it's showing up like on that frame, and you have the little animation to sort of suggest movement as opposed
it's
to
the magic of game development.
yeah. You're working from the back end, so like they don't have to know what's going. Oh, you could have left that one there. That
No.
lightning bolt was.
I recommend, especially to beginners, it's not a bad idea to get rid of lasers early because they do require a lot of mental kind of energy. A lot of this game is just kind of keeping your brain working and they're trying to manage all the different timers going on.
Yeah, it's like Street Fighter 6, but with packaging. You have a real big mental stack to deal with.
I haven't played enough Street Fighter to say for sure, but I think you're onto something.
Somebody in chat probably remembered what a drive impact felt like, and was like, "Oh yeah, that's the same thing." Oh, jump down too quickly.
Yeah. So you snap to a column whenever you stomp. It's actually indicated a little bit by a highlight behind the character, as well as on the ground beneath Sue, you can see a little white line that just indicates what column you're going to stomp into.
Oh, okay, no, I do see it. Like one of the background highlights up a little bit, and then you do have the little white underneath it. Oh shit,
There's
what's
a
this
lot
green
of-
one?
Oh, so we just saw a burner cube. Also, nice new high score.
Thank you.
Love to see it.
Yeah, that's like listen. He's been like Now this is like of every time he's used the game. If you're in chat and you have any questions about the game, do please chime in. Unless I missed
can't guarantee I'll answer them all, but if they're like
Yeah,
good
well,
questions, I'll answer them.
yeah, we have sometimes we can sort of like get into a bit more deets here. Ooh,
You can chat and answer questions.
yeah. Okay, he's planning it out. He's going through it. Like this game is full of a lot of little nice touches. Like I pay more attention. There's the box timer that's both in the columns and on the side of the screen. There's
And that also has a special effect. If you watch the next big combo here, that turns rainbow. It actually slows down the next box spawn.
oh, so like 5 combos slow down the box spawn.
Yeah, and that's actually nice because if you have a lot of big stacks in a row, it gives you time to actually go and clear each one of those out.
Okay, so actually, Note has a pretty good question. Was there anything thought out about the game, but didn't make the cut, or ended up being removed?
A lot of stuff, a lot. Nothing that I think is like super instrumental to the game. I got most of what I really wanted in, especially with the update. The winter update kind of added in some stuff I had to leave behind. But the big thing I didn't put in was that I was going to have a photo album, or it would be a camera roll, like Sue's phone would have a camera roll, and it would be inspired by one of my childhood favorites, Super Mario Bros. Deluxe for the Game Boy Color. If you achieve certain things in the game, you'd get like special little artwork drawings of like, events in the warehouse in the camera roll.
He's playing so dangerous. Okay, this would have been like a little bit of a lore goodie to like, you know.
Yeah, it's like an achievement system crossed with like, you know, just some fun little slice of life things.
Okay.
And the soundtrack for that is actually in the Combo Postage soundtrack. If you buy it, there's a second disc, a second digital disc, and it's one of the unused tracks on that disc. The track, the camera roll.
Okay, that's some interesting little extra stuff here.
Yeah, there's Combo Postage is a small game, but I put maybe too much thought into it. I don't know.
I mean, I don't know. Too much thought, like that's. No, that's subjective. Who's gonna say too much thought, right?
Yeah, I personally think I didn't put enough thought. I would have even done more if I could.
Right. Okay, so like I guess yeah. Hey, shoot, that's a way to follow up on what more would you have added?
So beyond the camera roll, let me think.
Sad face.
I really wanted. I explored adding in a versus mode, but it would be very difficult to do that. You'd have to. Of course, there's a damage, but also just because of the way I programmed the game. Getting a second instance of the game to run the way I programmed it, it wouldn't just be an easy thing of, you know, just copying and pasting the game field. It would require adjusting the resolution and I'd probably have to clone every object in the game or something silly because of the way I programmed it.
Oh boy.
And that's not a Construct 2 limitation. And also, yeah.
That's just like you would have to thought ahead, sort of like how sometimes you can't just copy paste rollback into a game because it's not programmed for rollback in some cases.
Now I did make Combo Postage from scratch. I like started over from cardboard. I made completely new code basically. So you know, it's not out of the question that someday I might come back to it, or in the sequel, you know, add multiplayer. But it would have to be something I planned for, and it would take a lot of work.
Okay. All right, and like I saw from the picture. I don't know if anyone has seen, right? But like you know. The Combo Postage has some new art thanks to the web release. There's
that's my friend Abby, who is an amazing artist. Super happy about it.
Right. So there are other like Combo Postagers. There's other people that work in that. Oh boy.
We might actually see some of them tonight if Juicey explores the different rooms of the warehouse. But we'll see. But yes, there's some other coworkers. There's a day-night cycle in this game. So someone works the day shift and someone works the night shift. So depending on what time you play, you might see a different person in the records room.
Oh, okay. That's again a lot of interesting, nice touches here. Like people say, like, "Oh man, they put a Moogle in the Kingdom Hearts save room."
Yeah, unfortunately, there are no Moogles in this game, but there are a lot of cool, interesting things to be poking on.
You know, I'm saying there's a lot of nice little interesting stuff here, but that does seem to be like, oh gosh,
you just did like a couple frame dodge. That was nice.
Actually, that's also something interesting because like, how does that dodge system work? Because I did notice that the game put up a dodge notification like once or twice. How does the game know that you dodged something?
So it just does a check whenever a laser is there. That's a funny one there. Whenever a laser appears, if you're really close to it, it'll just flash the dodge up and play the sound effect.
Oh, so it's like a gray system.
Yes, it's not something that you do. I mean, it's just, you know, if you happen to be near a laser and you barely miss it, it's just to tell you like, hey, you just did something really sick. Nice job.
Oh man, look at that. GC did something really sick.
Yeah. Okay. Do you want me to read the questions or would you?
Yeah. No, you can read the question if you see it.
All right, from Liability Luke 1. How much time did you spend on making the gameplay versus everything else? Amazing question. So as I was developing the gameplay at first, which is what I started with, I was like thinking a lot about the world, coming up with the coworkers, kind of getting a feel for what the world actually was. The general tone of Combo Postage shifted a lot from Card Horde, but I spent just months working on the controls. Originally, stomping and jumping was two different buttons, like in the Ludum Dare version, and you had to climb by mashing the jump button. A lot of time was spent just figuring out how to make the controls feel good. When I made it just one button, a lot of little tiny things had to go into making that work. I like to think it feels pretty seamless in the game, maybe a little bit of getting used to it, but it was a lot of work to get it feeling good and not feeling kind of clunky. So. So I spent a long time on the gameplay. To answer your question.
That's like so good. I guess did you have any like sort of I guess play testers that may have influenced that gameplay change decision and stuff?
So I think this is not to say anything against my other playtesters, but just because I played so much of it, I think I probably played the most combo postage of anyone alive. I think I was generally the person who kind of had the most feedback on it, because I was like, oh, this needs to be better, this doesn't feel good. Because I'm very like, I like this game a lot, I just play it for fun. It was kind of the goal to make a game I'd like to play. But beyond that, you know, playtesters definitely did inform a lot. And a lot of them too, like people I met at college, people I know online. I actually have a little document I want to post eventually that's going to kind of outline some of the communities I look to for help for this game. Just someone to give a shout out.
Oh man, more combo postage lore.
Yeah. Well, this is development lore. This is advanced lore. But yeah, a lot of testing went into it, and a lot of lots of perspectives for sure.
Man, yeah, this is really good stuff. Like this doesn't really work. I haven't played combo posters in a minute, but I forgot when I did start playing it. It was definitely probably after you joined Puzzle Wednesday on like regular stuff, and I was like, let me see what game this Kirk guy's made. He's always like talking about stuff. Let me see what it is. And it's like
I am always talking about stuff. It's true.
It is like it is a really good, interesting system. But like I guess it is. I didn't really appreciate what kind of work went into it.
Yeah, and I think that's okay, honestly. Like, it's a game that is kind of, I wouldn't say it's intentionally deceptive or anything, but I think I make it a note not to be too braggy about what's in the game, even in the game's presentation itself. I think it's nice to kind of let people who dig into the game find things, and if someone just has a small period of time with the game, that's okay too. I like to reward people's curiosity, I guess.
Yeah, no. Just like, I mean, not even just in terms of like, you know, all the little touches here, but I guess just hearing about how things are programmed and like, you know, how things just sort of work. He snapped again.
Yeah, and I will say, I think, I think a lot of games do have that. You just don't get the chance to hear their stories, you know. There's a lot of great games out there that get developed and they usually have a lot of work put into them.
Okay.
Right, we're going to explore the warehouse.
We're gonna go to challenge mode.
Alright, so this is challenge. Do you want me to give a rundown of challenge mode?
Yeah, because I have no clue how it works.
So you'll see a little card in the bottom left there. This is like the more puzzly version of combo postage. More puzzle heavy, at least. You have to match exactly what combo's on the card. So now you need to clear 2 boxes, you got it. Clear 3, and now you need to clear 4. And then those 4 cards shuffle, and now they're in a different order.
Alright, so do you lose if you mess up or don't do the right combo?
You just don't get any points.
Okay, then.
Also, maximum stacks are wild cards.
Oh, so you can... That's kind of fun.
But they're much less efficient than getting the combos batched, you know, because you'll see there's an accuracy rating there with the percentage, just kind of let you know how you did.
Okay.
Because the game gets so difficult over time, you really ideally want to be as efficient with your combos as possible. Especially in this game. Also, special to the 4 card, you can clear 2 2s instead of a 4, and that'll satisfy the card.
Wait, so could you do like 1 and 2 if you get a 3?
No, it's just the 4 card.
Man. Wow.
I'll say that 3s are probably the most annoying card to clear, just because they're in that kind of weird in-between where they're not too big, but it kind of takes time for 3 boxes to accumulate.
Oh wow,
I should also note that boxes fall in left to right orderly in this mode.
Okay, then so it's different. It's a different like sort of RNG system than the main mode.
Yes, it's always predictably left to right.
Okay.
So that kind of lets you kind of do more strategy. Great question, note. Did the alternate 2-2 mechanic just come to you while trying to go for 5s a bunch, or 4s rather? Yes, it was basically that of just waiting around for 4s and being like, this isn't very fun. And, you know, eventually being like, oh, I could just have it so you could clear 2 2s, and that would satisfy 4.
Okay.
3s are kind of intentionally left to be kind of tricky to clear. I think it's important to have something where you kind of have to really think about how you're going to deal with them.
Oh gosh, I
So I
thought you.
didn't add an alternate system for phrase.
Okay. Yeah.
I will note that because the deck shuffles of the cards,
Oh gosh.
you can't just like predictably have the same setup. You have to kind of play it by ear and be able to be adaptable with your combos.
Dang. Laser box got him again. But shoot, we didn't really plan this out super much, so I don't know how much more to say. We're kind of just goofing around at this point.
Any more questions? Feel free in the chat.
Yeah, feel free, or also Kirk's like in Puzzle Wednesday, so you can just ask him a question there or something, because he'll be somewhere in VC drawing like Grode pictures.
Yeah, I'll be drawing. So Grode is a little Mario-inspired mushroom man who I love dearly. He's a little character.
He's funny. He's like I was thinking of this morning. Grode is like if Danny McBride voiced a Toad character.
I don't know about
You know who Danny McBride is? He's like he's like an actor, but a lot of his characters are kind of like a sort of scumbaggy, maybe peaked in high school and sort of still hangs around his old town sort of guy.
I don't know enough about his characters to say for sure. Grode always struck me as more of a hippie type, kind of.
Is there any other modes or things you'd like to show while I'm behind the wheel in the game here?
Sure thing. I think just checking out the different rooms would suffice. And custom mode's pretty cool.
You got it.
So this is custom. Anne works here. She's kind of the warehouse tech. She's always here, no matter if you're playing day or night. She works too hard. But this is where you can set up custom mode. Yeah, there's a custom mode, and there's lots of different variables you can tweak. You can make the game harder, easier, and you can also use the original difficulty curve from the Ludum Dare version if you want.
Oh, old brew. That's funny.
Yeah. You can turn off the hazards. You can adjust how many boxes you have at the start. Turn off the queue, that sort of thing. Question in the chat from Showsoul: hardest part to get working correctly. What was the most challenging thing about it to program? So it's a little bit fuzzy since a lot of development happened a few years ago. But beyond Steam integration stuff, I'll just leave that to the side. A lot of saving and loading and menu stuff was the most tricky to program. A lot of the gameplay stuff itself had some frustrating moments, but it wasn't so bad. But if you're playing invisible mode, good luck. But it was a lot of menu stuff, just getting cursors to appear in the right place, making sure that things persist from state to state, that sort of thing can be more challenging than one would think. So that was probably the hardest thing for me.
Okay, get a 5 combo in invisible mode. We see you.
Well, we don't see the boxes, but we do see you.
We see the achievement. Okay, yeah, this is a lot of stuff. I only when I think V2 was the last version of combos I played. I only pretty much just did the basic mode and tried to get a high score on that. But this is like a lot of stuff, and oh man.
Yeah, I think a lot of people overlook the other rooms, and that's okay. But I encourage anyone who's interested in the game to definitely poke around, see what's going on. You can also decrease the game's speed if the game is just too fast for you, and lowering the difficulty doesn't help. You can just straight up run it at a lower percentage of the speed, so you can run it at like 25% speed.
I'm probably gonna mess around with invisible all the time, because I like that.
Oh, of course. And there's diagnostics that just tells you information about your last custom shift and your kind of like to-date custom totals. So since it'd be kind of hard to track a bunch of different custom records, I just kind of mush them all into one.
Chat. Yeah, let's chat. Are you chatting with Anne?
Yeah,
How's
chat
work?
with Anne.
Time to take a break and surf the web, man. And my kind of worker.
Yeah, there's a lot of dialogue. A lot of it's locked to summer or winter, depending on the month you play it. So there's also a seasonal cycle, I should mention.
It's okay, you got rebind, cutting settings, full screen. Oh wait, would full screen still work with is this the web version we're on Juice?
This is
the base.
Base. Oh, okay, this is base. All right then.
Also, I don't
Right.
want to randomly press that and have it kill stream presentation.
Yeah, Chris. I did
But
try to
okay.
add a lot of settings here, especially for accessibility when I could. So you can adjust a lot of the visual elements to make it a bit easier on the eyes if you need to.
Yeah, no, this seems like this is like really well thought out. I see what you mean when you like this is like a big game because like even for the base game that's big, but like it's like big and just like for you to do all this on your own, right? Like that's really impressive.
You know, it took a lot of effort, but I'm pretty proud of it, and I think it's a good game. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, man. We are kind of close to wrapping up here, but
Yeah, any
I don't know.
last
Let's
minute
do
questions in the chat?
any last minute questions. Any other things you want to say about Kirk Gamer? The and also Righteous Gemstones like was like the recent thing that Dana McBride is in. Dana McBride is the actor, not like a character, but like he kind of plays the same guy in a lot of stuff that he does do, just in different.
Juicey performing the top left side screen of the edge of the screen tech over there.
Okay,
I
so
used
this
to
is
have
actually
tons with the Warriors Woods back in the day. Just,
okay. Note actually has a good question. I think we may have answered it somewhat, but they asked like, do you have any stuff to say about your next game project if it is a thing?
Great question. So, I have I think 20 to 25 games I've announced or something, and have kind of paused over the years. But in terms of what's next, I really want to make a versus puzzler, kind of a more traditional one. Just because of how much time I spent in Puzzle Wednesday and kind of getting into the puzzle game world, I do want to make a more traditional puzzle game, and I'm pretty excited about it. I'll save more details for the future, but
Okay, I see.
that'll be coming up hopefully sooner than it took to make Combo Postage.
Okay, so it sounds like you kind of got a little bit of a bit of a whatchamacallit, maybe
I
some
got the puzzle bug.
yeah. Well, not even like just a puzzle bug, but just like you maybe have some design documents still working on here. So like
Oh yeah, this is
Really
the planning stage and some sketches.
it's still in the sketchbook somewhere, and not quite fully realized.
But this is a fresh new one. I have a lot of games that I will eventually get back to for sure. This is the one that's relatively recent, and I want to get out pretty quick.
Yeah. But design documents.
So design documents are all over Facebook content.
Kayat's being a joker. It's not.
No, I know.
I want to interject here on a little bit, and this little training mode race thing that I played. This is sick as hell.
Yeah, this is something added in the winter update. It's totally optional, but it's just a way to kind of get more used to the controls, and you can speedrun it. There's also you can turn the collectibles on and off, and the things you have to dodge, all that with the button there.
But
But it's just a little thing to give you more things to do.
Like bearing the lead here, I was the one that put in the does the actual like controlling a character do a lot to Trojan Horse puzzle game mechanics? Because for me, two of my most formative ones were like Mr. Driller and Wario's Woods, and I played those growing up for years, just thinking like, no, this is a really weird platformer. But like it got me into it, and I think that's definitely a way to kind of like feel more approachable versus the abstract of I'm going to place block here and then it's going to click. You get more hands-on control. You feel more personable with it.
Yeah, absolutely, and I hope more people, will check out the puzzle game world because it comes with Postage. I don't think it's going to be that influential, or at least it isn't so far, but if more people, check out other puzzle games because of Combo, that'd be wonderful, because as someone who's only recently, within the past year, gotten more into puzzle games, it's such a wonderful world of different experiences,
Yeah,
Like Columns 3, oh my gosh.
This reminds me of like the Super Smash Brothers target practice.
It's definitely intended to be that sort of thing, where it's like a bit of a side mode to kind of get you where the
man.
word.
Look at me schmoovin'. You see, you can get it on the return trip.
No.
No air dashes, okay.
So no air dashes in this one. Probably not in the theoretical eventual sequel, but there is some other stuff maybe.
We found a melee player.
Yeah. Break the boxes.
Break the boxes. So you're kind of sporting the Wario colors right now.
Yeah. I will say there is a Wario's Wood nod somewhere in the game. It's very rare, but it does exist. A legally distinct Wario's Woods nod. It's on one of the boxes, but it has like a 1 in 100,000 chance of appearing or something. So.
Oh, just like certain win poses in Darkstalkers.
Yeah.
It's like that's funny. Okay. Man, that's this.
I think
this
the last
is...
thing to show off would be Records Room, and that's just through stat tracking and another coworker you can meet there.
Another coworker. Let's meet the coworker.
So this is Daryl. He's super cool.
Okay. Oh man, he does look cool. The usual. Man, that's.
Oh yeah, so there are also in-game guides. So if you want to kind of dig in and kind of learn some more of the nitty-gritty, there is resources for you.
Anvil, and WW Raw for the Xbox.
Vampire H.
Yeah, that's. I think she works in Wisconsin. Yeah, Wisconsin. So this is posted on the intranet, and somebody printed it out.
Wait, what? That's hilarious. Track what I learned.
This is kind of the more deeper strategy stuff.
Yeah, this is like interesting lore and all that extra stuff. Van for Street Fighter. Oh goodness, that's look.
Yo, Carl facts.
Carl
stumbled
facts.
upon the Carl facts.
Oh yes, like I was supposed to. Of course.
I was able to really
So,
have fun.
This might be revealing too much, but Carl is Van's friend, and he put a bunch of stuff about himself in the document when she wasn't looking.
Man, Carl's so strong.
One time he opened his water bottle and it was frozen solid. Cool.
That is pretty cool.
It's
Strange.
literally cool.
Carl was able to lift a really heavy file cabinet that was previously bolted to the floor. Wisdom. Carl is wise beyond his years. He knows the exact amount of grounds to put in the coffee maker for maximum taste and minimum waste. Smart conclusion. Carl is probably one of the coolest ever. Do we meet this man in the game?
Carl will return in combo postage too.
Gotcha.
We got our first developer commitment to do something very ridiculous based on fan demand.
Oh, he was always going to come back. Don't you worry.
Carl's always going to be there. Again, I can't say thank you enough for being with us on this mission voyage of
This is wonderful. Yeah, any
puzzle
last minute
stuff.
questions in the chat? Anything we want to do real quick? We're getting some interesting facts about the raw
Dude,
games regarding rare.
Yes, the rare WWF Raw for the Xbox Anvil.
I will say there are no, to the best of my knowledge, there are no anvils in combo postage.
Yeah, yes, Crit. This game is out already, and also we're talking about the web version that was released like maybe an hour ago.
Yeah,
Give or
if you
take.
want, I can do the link rollout. That sort of thing.
Yeah, no, feel free to link and also link to your your kirklindsay.me, any other stuff.
I'll
People
give
follow
those
you at.
if you want. So, Combo Postage is a downloadable game for Windows and Linux. It is like $3. Yeah, $3 US. You can get it at this link in the chat. It's Combo Postage. However, if you like to try it before you buy, or you just don't like downloading things, I just decided to put it online as a special version, just because I wanted more people to play the game, and I think it's just cool to be able to play it in your browser. So there's also Combo Postage Express now, which just released like an hour ago, and that is right here. Totally free to play on the web. It has both standard and challenge modes. And then if you want to see more of what I'm doing, I have a little link here. Let's pull it up real quick. I buried it deep in my browser here. There we go. kirklindsay.me. It's a nice little stack of all my links. And if you want to specifically play my games, you can just go to my itch.io page, kirklindsay.itch.io.
Yeah. Itch.io.
It's pretty itchy.
Chia.
It's what it's called.
Oh gosh, I'm okay. Interview race. Okay, man. Well,
Oh, good.
yeah, that's
yes,
that's
I should
something
mention
else.
this real quick.
I was gonna say that too, actually.
Yeah, it's in a few of the itch.io charity bundles. So yes, you may already have it. You may already have comic postage, and you had no idea. So definitely check first.
It's possible. Yeah, it's possible. That's a thing. I actually accidentally bought a game from Itch that I already had in a bundle. It's
You could also give Kirk $3.
You could also just
There's
get
nothing
If you
wrong
really
with that.
want, you could also buy the soundtrack. It's on my Bandcamp. I guess I could link that if you want to. But
Yeah, it is also on Steam too.
it is on Steam. If you prefer Steam, it's on Steam.
You could also give Kirk $3 just because.
You could just give me $3. You know, it's up to you.
You could just read.
I'm not gonna cry about it.
Oh man. I guess Juicy, is there anything else you want to say, bring up, address, lament about before we close out?
Lament upon. Okay. Not a ton. We just have on the Discord server and soon to be on Twitter, we have our lineup for July up. So next thing you're going to be seeing all of us on is going to be the Tetris Bag randomizer slot this upcoming Wednesday, the 5th. Grandpa's Second Edition, which may not communicate immediately, but we're back with Tetris Plus 2. So if you've not played that, it's probably one of the weirder takes on the game out there, where clearing lines and all that's a means to an end to kind of pathfind a senile old man down to some treasure. It's a very funny game. We're going to have a very funny time. And let me go ahead and grab the link for that to throw in Twitch chat really quick.
Okay. Hey.
And I will at least sound off on the remainder of July events. 12th, we're doing Magical Drop 3 Tournament Edition. Funny enough to do a gimmick bracket. It's a random select. So everything is on the table. You're going to see a lot of stronger players have to play against type, and even hidden unplayable boss character Black Piero is in the mix there. So fun times.
Oh wow. Yeah, it's gonna be a fun time.
Wednesday, July 19th, Puzzle Fighter X Prime comes back. We're doing HD remixes on arcade, baby. So tell us how much you like seeing characters that aren't Ken.
I mean, Ken's still gonna be there.
No,
still...
stop. I'm gonna ask KS to patch in homeless Ken.
Quick, Diamond Hands Ken.
No. Friday, July 21st, we're back with a Nintendo slot. We're doing Yoshi's Cookie, which, you know, we have a couple other people on the team queued up to talk about the games that they've worked on here, but we use a ROM patch put together by Kayad7, another dev that is on Puzzle Wednesday team, so keep an eye out for him. But he did a lot of good work for us on that. And wrapping up, we got Senno Ring Second Edition. Really the second time that we've done probably the most infamous Kusoge in our circle. But CT is going to be here for it this month. It's going to be a good time. So that's all we got on our end.
Man. All right, and all right, it's just for a good sign out. Thanks again to everyone who joined to help make this pleasant experience a wonderful time. Thanks to everyone in chat. Thanks Kirk for being our proverbial guinea pig.
My pleasure.
On this venture. Thanks Juicy for I guess sort of nudging me to to do this because I said it'd be an interesting thing to do one time, and taking me out of retirement as I'm chopping wood out in the secluded forest somewhere.
No, this is you chopping wood in the secluded forest.
but thank you again. We don't really have any lineup on this, so I do think this would likely happen again. We just don't really know. Hey, I'm not gonna tell you that.
It will happen when it happens.
Yeah, it'll happen again. We'll get. You know what? I'm gonna make a promise. We're gonna get Alexei Pajitnov on the next one. The next one. That's look out for it. Can't say when. We're gonna get Alexi on the next one. Not the real one. We're gonna get the act that I played in the Tetris movie.
That's the developer of what is it?
He made
Hatris? Is it Hatris, right?
Yeah, he made Hatris. That's the one.
He made Quirks.
Quirks. Oh, that's right, Quirks. Too. That's right.
Anyway, we're getting a little shit posty. Thank you so much for coming out, everyone. We'll be back again soon.